All right, so the game yesterday was a beautiful game. Up Chelsea. It was a fantastic game, right? Chelsea really played, you know, to their strengths yesterday. Chelsea played a fantastic game. When I was watching that game, I was even scared because I was expecting that a red card is going to come, but fortunately rather, it didn't happen, right? There was no red card in that game. But the gameplay in general actually was very beautiful to watch, right? It was more like a Caicedo show. It was more like a Caicedo and James show. These are two players that when I see them in the Chelsea team, I find I kind of like I have this excitement inside of me to keep watching, right? Because you know what these two players bring to their games, right? You know what these two players, you know what they can actually do. So I noticed that yesterday Caicedo was everywhere. Caicedo, the energy he brought into this Chelsea team was massive. So he was able to run the full length of the pitch, making sure he covers all the lapses that Chelsea were actually giving yesterday. From the midfield to the defense, from that defense to the midfield, from the midfield again to the attack, from the attack back to the midfield. Caicedo was literally everywhere on the pitch. The energy, the strength, the stamina, he brings to his game is something that you cannot do without. As it stands right now, I think Chelsea cannot do without Caicedo, to be honest. There are players when they leave the team, when they go on injuries, like you can say, okay, we have somebody who can replace them. As it stands right now, Caicedo doesn't have a man-for-man replacement for him. He doesn't have a man-for-man replacement for him. I think in the world right now, when you're discussing DMs, intelligent DMs, right? You're discussing people like Vinteha, you're discussing DMs like Rodri, you're discussing DMs like Caicedo. He's in the top three for me. Caicedo is in the top three for me. And if I am to be a coach and you want me to pick between these three, I will pick a Caicedo. Because personally, I love energy football. I love when players give their best on the field of play. It's not like others do not have the energy to play. But Caicedo is a monster. When you need a player who could do that dirty job for you, he's there. He will be there for you. When you need a player who can fight for you, he will be there for you. When you need a player who can give his best for your team, Caicedo is always there to give his best. So when you talk about having a proper DM, Chelsea really spent that money properly. They spent it properly. Getting a Caicedo was a massive plus for them. And looking at the fact that they've actually progressed a little bit, right? The league table now, as it stands right now, is that when you draw a game or you lose any game, you drop down, right? Conversation begins to build up. When you win a single game, you pull up again because the gap between the second position, let's leave us now for now. The gap between the second position and people in the 10th position, teams that are in the 10th position, there is not that the margin is not that wide, right? The margin is not that wide. But one thing you need to understand is that Premier League is a very competitive league. It's a league that you need to be at your best every game day to be able to maintain your position. And that's why we are tipping Arsenal to win this league. We are tipping them to win this league, not because there is something special, right? But because other teams that are supposed to give them a run, right? They have not been in their best. People like Man City, people like Liverpool. Let's see what happens this season. I just hope, as they've already topped the league, they should continue going in that direction. But Chelsea, what a game! What a game! What a game! What a game! Again, I need to talk about something. I think, how on earth did Gittins and Joao Pedro miss those two goals? How on earth? How did they miss those two goals? These are clinical finishers. How did they miss those two goals? When I was immediately they missed those two goals, I was like, seriously, how is it possible to miss two goals of this nature in a game like this? So imagine if Tottenham has scored late in that game. Imagine if Tottenham Hotspur has scored late in that game. We noticed this same trend during their game against Wolves, right? They were winning 3 games. They were 3 goals up. All of a sudden, they conceded 2 goals, right? Putting themselves under pressure before getting out to extend the lead to 4. This is becoming a trend. Chelsea needs to start looking for a way to make sure that these players finish these games well. Finish it well.